Hey, welcome back to 5 Lakes Garage, and today we're going to be working on this fairly well-used LT3000 made by Craftsman. Alright, what we're going to do today is actually try to get this thing running. My neighbor kind of pushed it over to my shop last night and said, hey, it's not running. Got to get it done for the season. So checked a couple things, and I figured I'd go ahead and make a video on it just to see what you have to do to actually get this thing running. And I would have to say the damage on it is a lot more than I thought. But we're still going to get it running. My buddy Todd, you've probably seen one of the other videos. He's a good guy. We're going to help him out. We're going to get this thing up and running. So basic engine, need three things. Compression, spark, fuel. That's all you really need. And with this one, we're going to need a few extra things, which I'm going to show you here in a second. So the first thing you want to do is actually check compression. It's the easiest thing to check. All you have to do is pull up the hood, reveal the engine, and then take your hand and just rotate it around. And then you can feel it grabbing, and then it'll give way, it'll grab and give way. Alright, if it's actually grabbing a little bit of resistance, that means you have compression, and you should be fine. Check to make sure it's not getting bound up or anything like that, and that you're actually getting compression rather than it just being bound up. So, next thing you do is check for your spark, which I'm going to check that with my little tool, wherever I put it. There you go. Alright, you can pick up one of these guys. This is very, very simple. You can get it almost in any auto parts store. Anyway, it's got a little piece of glass in there. You put spark plug lead on one side, spark plug on the other. Check it out. Alright, so there's your spark plug. And you pull it off. See? Bam! Spark plug. Alright, so you put your little tool, make sure it clicks. You have your little glass, and you have the other side. Now, when I turn the key, it's going to crank over, and you should see the light up. Alright, looks like we're getting a pretty good spark. Another thing you could do is actually make sure that the spark plug is not fouled. This is what I pulled out, and I've already cleaned it twice with a pick and also with the wire brush, but it was so bad I went ahead and got a new one. So we got new sparkage in this thing. Okay, so we have compression. We have spark. Last thing is fuel. Easy way to check that. Alright, obviously look inside the tank, make sure that you do have fuel in the tank. Now I do have a little bit in here. I went ahead and poured out all the old stuff because most of the time this time of year it's still gas left over from last year, and it is corroded and it doesn't have enough energy in order to spark, or it could have water in it. We don't want to do that, so I drained out the old fuel and put in some new stuff. Did run into a small issue. I do have a crack in the tank, which I'm going to have to replace that anyway. But anyway, you can follow the line down all the way over to the carburetor. Now, quick way to see if you're actually getting any fuel. Take off your air filter, which you might have to replace that. And if you really want to, you can grab some starting fluid. Just give it a couple squirts. Don't do much, just a little bit. And then crank it over. Sounds like it wants to do something. Alright, still not anything there. So, we checked spark, we got that. We have compression, we got that. Now, let's find out why the fuel is not getting in there. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Simple screws, screw there, and a little clip in the front. There you go, rip it off. Alright, so since I have that off, I'm just going to put my hand right over here on top of the carburetor. So this is the input of the carburetor. Now I'm just going to feel whether or not it's actually sucking in anything on my hand. So, it is sucking a little bit, but not enough. It really needs to suck in, because it's sucking in air, and that piston's pulling in with the valve open. It is sucking in that air, sucking in that fuel, and it should be able to go there. Was not a lot. So let's go a little bit further. We're going to go ahead and take this carburetor off. It's just going to be 2 screws right there. Whoop. To the mill. All right, it's two ways of actually getting in suction from an actual engine like this. You got crankcase pressure, which comes with this little hose, sticks it in right there. Now the rest of it will actually come from the pistons actually sucking in all the air. Now here's what I came up with yesterday. And take a look at this. There you go. As you can see way down in there, there you go. You can see the valve, right? So let's see what happens when I turn the key. Maybe. It's not moving. That means the intake valve is not opening up. I can check the exhaust valve and see if that's opening up, but I think we got some major problems with this thing. So I'm just going to take the head cover off, or the valve cover, and actually look at the valves and see what's going on. It could just be a simple little rocker that came off or anything like that, but we won't know until we take it apart. So I'm going to take this hood off because it's fallen on my head a few times and got me a little upset. So I'm going to take that off and we're going to dig a little bit deeper and see what we can find. I'm turning this light off because it's hurting my eyeballs. Alright, now we're in the front of the engine. All I did was take off our little dinky cover here. Check your gasket, make sure it's okay. This one's a little stiff, but we're going to get away with it. Now, here is my problem. Here's your intake valve, there's your exhaust valve. This, nice and tight. I think should be alright. This one, that's not tight. I'm not exactly sure what the heck happened. Oh. That could be one thing. Okay. Alright, I got both push rods out. And as you can see, the one that bent has probably been riding on that little guy right there. Well, it rides on there. It's made, it looks like it's made out of plastic. It's got oil on there and it shouldn't be dry. But it wore away enough of this push rod to actually make it fail. I kind of looked inside a little bit and everything else seems to be okay. I think what happened was that it just wore out. I actually looked at the numbers. This thing's like a 2003. So I just ordered some parts. They should be here in a couple days, and once that happens, we'll get back at it and make it happen. But until then, I'm gonna put everything back on there so it doesn't get all cruddy stuff inside the engine, and push it to the corner because I gotta work on that thing. 1980 CJ5. That's right. It's hot. It's warm. And gotta get it right. Gotta get it ready. Ready. All right. See you in a few days. Maybe I'll change the shirt.
Oh, hello there. Thanks for watching. And if you really like it, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you really like it, go ahead and hit the like button. And go ahead and comment because I want to hear what you have to say. Could be good, could be bad. I don't know. Let me know. And if you really want to send anything to the channel, help us out, whichever. Here's a P.O. box that we opened up in case you want to send something. I'll do a video and see what it is. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, it's a new day, new week, new everything. But what else we got new? We got parts. That's right. We have a new intake push rod. We got a new exhaust push rod. And we got a new plate. And that's pretty much all you're really going to need. The only thing that you might want to do is actually go ahead and splurge and get a new gasket for your head. Well, valve cover rather. This one I'm just going to throw some silicone on it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then it's real easy to actually get it off. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I forgot to order it. Go figure. But anyway, let's get this guy back off. We're going to throw those push rods back in. Hopefully they'll line up. And then we're going to crank it up and make sure. Oh yeah, we have a new fuel tank as well. Alright, so you have, what is this? I guess that's the intake. Alright, we need to get that guy off, so let's get both of these valves off. Now, keep everything together. Because when the machine actually runs, especially one this old, it does kind of form to each other. So we don't want to mix up the parts. If nothing else, at least on the safe side. All right, I'll put it in separate drawers. So this is the guy we're actually replacing. It still looks like it's in okay shape, but these the plastic is hard as a rock. So where's my new one? There we go. All right, top, put it in correctly. All right, one thing that you don't want to do is mix up your exhaust to your intake. Now, if you look at the exhaust, it is made out of a different material. This is a little bit darker than the intake, and it's also got a different part number. So don't mix them up. All right, so you got everything lined up. You just have to get it right on top of the lifter that is all the way on the inside. If you don't, you're not going to actually get it to work. So right now, if you twist it by hand, you got the exhaust, great. Intake, great. Compression, exhaust, intake. All right, so when it's on the compression stroke, that means both of them are on the bottom part of the lobe. So now we need to grab our feeler gauges, and according to the internets, it is a 6/1000 of an inch valve lash. Already did the exhaust. I'm going to do the intake, and if I didn't look it up right, please let me know so I can come back and fix this thing. But right now, I'm going to do it for 6. All right, so we're going to stick our feeler gauge right in there, and then we're going to tighten it up to where it's hard to get out. And then you have your set screw. There you go. Comes out. There we go. I get it in, get it out. All right. Things seem to be nice and tight. Make sure you do the exhaust and the intake. Check it one more time. Good compression. Exhaust. Intake. There we go. All right. So, since I'm not replacing this gasket, clean it off at least. I got a feeling I'm going to be replacing this eventually. Let's put our valve cover back on and cinch it down. Then we're going to crank it up, and if it cranks, great. If it doesn't, we'll keep looking at it. And then we'll tackle that fuel tank, because it is leaking everywhere. Bam! All right, let's put the rest of it together and then crank it up, see what we got. Another thing you might want to do, though, since you got everything here, and another reason why this thing actually wore out is because it's probably oil changes or lack thereof. Go ahead and change oil while you're here. All right, so I roughly got everything put back together. I got the hood kind of in there. I put a little bit of fuel in there. I don't have a lot, but it should be enough to at least crank it over. So let's see if she cranks over. Unfortunately, the battery was dead, so it is now dark and it's late, and I guess my neighbor's gonna have to be mad at me, at least for 2 seconds. But anyway, I'm gonna crank it up just so you can see. Hopefully it works. Please say it works. 1 second. And it even idles. That's what I'm talking about. All right, this puppy is almost ready to get back to my neighbor Todd. He's got some grass to go ahead and cut. And don't worry about if it doesn't run. Just look at it, take your time, do some research on it. To be honest, this is my first time ever having a push rod bend that way. That is ridiculous. But, like I said before, if you look really close, you can see right where the wear marks are. So I'm definitely going to have to try to tell him and say, look, you got to change the oil more than once a decade, or whatever he's doing. So this will not happen again. A couple other things that I figured out. The exhaust is a whole lot stiffer than the intake. Intake is kind of flimsy. This one's nice and heavy. Anyway, check out all the other stuff. We're going to work on the boat here in a second. Actually, I've been working on it all afternoon to try to rewire some of that. I'm not a big fan of the 70s right now, only because I don't understand why it needs so many wires. But that's fine. Take a look at all the other videos that we have. We got some more mower stuff, we got some Jeep stuff, we got some boat stuff, we got some fishing stuff, Tacomas, we got it all, baby. Just go out there and take a look at it. Just go to the very beginning, hit play all, see what we got. Maybe you like something. Hit some comments, whatever. Anyway, till then, take it easy, have fun, get your stuff running, because this guy, 2003, it's running, ready to cut some more grass. So until then, take it easy, have fun, and just, yeah. Now I'm rambling. Later.